So where are we with the Jupiter 2? Well, since the strip down, all the metal parts have been cleaned, degreased, and those that required it de-rusted using the old white vinegar solution. It's come up really well. This main spindle bar here was particularly badly rusted and pitted, and that's cleaned up quite nicely. As it comes around, you'll see this piece now slides up and down much freer. It wasn't like that at all before. What else? Yeah, it's all cleaned up really nicely. I didn't do much to the paintwork because I want to retain the original paintwork, and it cleaned up quite well. I mean, you can read this; it's quite clear now, which it wasn't before. Let's go on around a bit. The only bit I really had to repaint, and we'll let it go around so you can see it. Let's change the angle a little bit. There we go. Yeah, the only bit I had to repaint was this little capture trough tray thing here, which the shavings from the pencil fall into this, and then they all come down this chute and into the little tray that's missing. Now this was really badly rusted and the paint was almost all gone from it, so that I have repainted, but I think it blends. I used satin black. I edge primed it obviously, but I think it blends in quite well with the rest of the sharpener. This little thing here is in fact a lock, so in this position it's free to turn, and then you move it into this position and it locks. So that's what that's for. But yeah, all the nuts and bolts and everything all cleaned up really well. Let's come back out again. I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. There we go. So we're just left now with the wooden parts, which is a bugger because I really need to get outside to do the base. It needs to be properly sanded down. I need to do a little bit of sanding on the wooden handle as well, and the base needs to be oiled up and the handle needs to be repainted. But typical British weather for this time of the year, it's been raining pretty much continuously for the last 3 days, so I haven't been able to get out and do that. So I thought, well, I'll do a quick update so you can see where we are with it. But it's looking really nice. I mean, it's a very, very nice bit of engineering. The Germans really know what they're doing when it comes to engineering. I mean, it's all really, really nice. So pull it around a bit so you can have a look. Yeah, I mean, this end here was all caked in crud and gunk and pencil shavings, not surprisingly. And what's going on it? But this gear here and the matching rack on the handle, turn handle, it all cleaned up perfectly, and it's in excellent condition. In fact, all the metal work is in excellent condition, really, apart from this main shaft, which obviously at some time had got wet, I think, and had not been oiled, and it basically just got all pitted. But no, the rest of it is really, really nice. Let's come back out again. So that's where we are at the moment. As I said, I'm hoping to get outside soon, as soon as the rain lets up, and then we can get the base sanded down. It just needs a damn good sand, and then I'll use the finishing oil on it, as I do with most of my steam engine bases, and that will bring the. I think it's something like mahogany. It's a very it's quite a heavy wood, and it's a hard wood, and that colour. I mean, I'll know more when I get to sand it down, but yeah, I'm fairly certain it's mahogany. So that's it for now. As I said, next step is sand down the base, get it all finished, and then the thing will be finished. And then at some point in the future, I will attempt to make fabricate this missing tray that sits in here. Well, here it is. And what's glory? I still need to make the little catch tray for the debris that comes off of the pencil when the pencil's actually sharpened, but it is, for the most part, now done. The base, I'm very pleased about the base. It finally stopped raining long enough for me to get outside and sand the thing down, and that's had several coats of finishing oil and has come up really nicely. It looks a lot better than it did before. I've also sanded down and repainted the little wooden peg handle that's on the crank wheel, because that was missing probably, I don't know, 30% of its paint, so I thought that was worthwhile doing, and as you can see, that's come up quite nicely. So yeah, that's about it for now. I think it's turned out lovely. An amazing piece of engineering, completely over the top in my opinion, but there you go. They manufactured these for a reasonable amount of time, so I assume they must have sold quite a few, you know. And as somebody pointed out in the comments to the first video, that the lettering is pretty much all in English, so it would tend to indicate that these things were made mainly for export, which they probably were. What I'll do is I'll take it off of the turntable, and then we'll put a completely unsharpened pencil in there, and we'll just see how effective this thing actually is. Okay, so we have a very blunt pencil, which I'm going to put in here. And we'll see what it can do. Try and keep my hand out of the way. Well, it certainly seems to be doing something. Very difficult to do this without the thing moving around all over the place. Let me clamp it down using the old F clamp. Hang on a minute. Okay, I've got it clamped on this corner. You can't quite see the F clamp there, so it's more rigid. So we'll have another go at that. Oh, that's better. Look at that. Yes, that's working nicely now. Let's move it in a bit so you can see what's going on. Right. Yeah, it seems to be very good. Okay, now the truth. Let's see what it looks like, shall we? Well, I don't know about you, but I'd call that a pretty damn well brilliantly sharpened pencil. As somebody else pointed out in the comments on the first video, they said looking at the colour, they said it would probably do a really good job on the graphite, which it has done. That's a needle sharp point on the graphite. But the wood would be a bit rougher, which it is, but it's perfectly fine. I mean, bearing in mind that we started off with, you know, a flat end. That obviously works, and there's obviously nothing wrong with a cutter after all this time. Obviously it does make quite a bit of debris, as you can see. And the little chute seems to work really well as well, as obviously normally there would be a little tray in there to catch all that crap. But yeah, pretty good, I think. So that's it really for now on the Guhl and Harbeck pencil pointer from, well, I think he started making these in 1910. I don't know the exact age of this particular one, but yeah, what an amazing bit of kit. And very good at sharpening pencils. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.